Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with CircWorks, and it's Friday. Time for another Fan Art Friday. And today, as you probably maybe could tell by the title card there, I am working on some Walking Dead sketch cards. Which it's funny. It's funny that this is the first time I've done any Walking Dead sketch cards. I've done a lot, and it just seems like. I guess it seems like a natural thing. There's obviously a big, a big fandom around it, and it's a show that I watch and enjoy. And I do a comic book myself that features zombies. Not that I'm like a huge zombie fan. I mean, I guess it just depends what it is, really, but. But with the finale of the latest season of Walking Dead wrapping up, thought it'd be a good time to do some of these. So I'm worried about this brush. This is Daryl that I'm working on, by the way, if you can't tell. I'm worried about this brush because I was, this is the brush that I've been using because it's the only. Was it a triple lot or double lot, or I think it's a triple lot, which means it's pretty thin, but it's the only one that I have, and I was looking all over for it before doing this, and I couldn't find it. I'm like, where the heck did it go? I didn't know if it fell. Sometimes brushes will fall behind my desk or something, and so finally I look around and I see it lying on the ground, which usually I put a little, I've got a little cap or something on it, like this here. I don't know if you can see that. Is it? Oh, hold on. You know what? This is upside down. Hold on. Which I can probably flip this image around. It just looks weird. Let me pause this and flip this. Okay, that's a little embarrassing. So the reason why it's upside down is because I turned the card upside down. But I was looking, the way I've got my camera set up, it's actually my iPhone. So I can, if I look up, I can kind of see what I'm filming, and I'm looking through the viewfinder. I'm like, how is that upside down? But I wasn't looking at the card at the same time, so that's weird. But anyway, so what I was going to show you was. This is just a little straw that I cut and put it on there just so it doesn't damage the bristles. Or sometimes the brushes come with a little plastic cap I can put on it. But that was gone. It was laying on the ground and the edges were all frayed and everything. So I thought it was done for. I don't know what happened to it, but I ran some soapy water over it and everything, and it may be fixed. I don't know. We'll see. So far it's okay. But so yeah, this is most people's favorite character, I would think. He's a pretty popular character from the show. I guess I can talk a little bit about it. I don't want to give out any spoilers or anything, not major spoilers or anything. So if you're worried about that, don't be too concerned. But I was really happy with the season finale. There were some surprises and things, because sometimes things are predictable, especially if they're like gonna kill a character off or something. They tend to give a character a little more screen time or something, or there's certain like things they do. Where you're like, oh, yeah, that character is going to die, but they're starting to do a lot of misdirections and things like that. So you don't always know what's going to happen. And if you read the book, or the comic book series, which I'm not that far along, I'm definitely not current. I've read what they'll do is they'll collect them all in. They collect them all, I think, in a couple different volumes. I think they do like, what's it like? I don't know. It could be anywhere from 4 to 6 comics together, as like a little trade. But then they'll have like a compendium, which is just a huge dictionary size volume. Which I read the first one, and I think they have a second one out. Well, I know they do. I don't know if they. I don't think they've collected enough to do a third one yet. But I haven't read the second one, so that's how far I'm along. So I'm not. I think the series is the TV series anyway has surpassed pretty much what I've read. But things are things are different. It's not always, they change things around and everything. So you really can't. I mean, there's characters that will die in the show that are still alive in the book, or die in the book that are still alive in the show. So you never really know exactly what to expect. And this character, Daryl, isn't even in the comic. And I think, yeah, I think last year there was like an April Fool's joke. Funny because we just had April Fool's Day not too long ago. I don't know if they pulled anything this year, but I think there was like a tease that they were going to bring Daryl into the comic. But that hasn't happened. I don't know if it will happen. Like I said, I'm not current at all with what's going on in the book. But I think there's a character similar to Daryl in the book, but not quite. So I know there's a character with a crossbow and everything. I've seen like pictures of him. I don't know too much about him, but yeah, I do. I was gonna. It was around Christmas time last year where I saw the second compendium at Costco, and it was fairly inexpensive. You know, it was a good deal as far as, because it's just a huge book. But you know, I was too busy buying gifts for other people, so I didn't really pick it up. But and I'm so behind on my like reading comics and stuff. I mean, I buy like single issues, but then I've got this big 2-part Snowpiercer graphic novel that I've been wanting to get to that I haven't yet. So we're gonna show. It's hard, you know, in my style to. Hopefully, this is a fairly decent representation of Daryl, but because my style's pretty cartoony, so. Or, you know, so it's not quite a portrait. So I'm always worried that people won't recognize who they are exactly. I think this one's all right, but so that's why I want to show the crossbow here, which kind of houses a couple arrows kind of clipped to it. I'll draw some arrows there. But yeah, there's so many characters in the Walking Dead. I'll probably ink at least 3 of them. I don't know. I might color some today too, or maybe I'll color them later. I don't know. It just depends. I probably should, you know, get back to work. I got a lot to do, and next week there's a lot of stuff going on, like, you know, family stuff, and this weekend too. I won't have a lot of time this weekend to work on anything, so. I don't know if I'll color any of them today, but I definitely want to ink a few. But I might do, you know, who knows, I might even do some more next week too, some more Walking Dead characters, because if you didn't know, you know, I'll take requests. If you have something you want me to draw, let me know. I haven't got any requests recently. I've got a whole list of stuff that I've compiled, but nothing lately. So nothing that stuck out, and like every once in a while somebody send me, oh, you should draw this, and I'm like, oh man, why didn't I think of that? But it's funny because I don't think I've had anyone really request me doing Walking Dead, which, like I said, with all the popularity around it, you think that would be a lot of my requests, but so of course, just with these little head sketches, I might have to do like a full body, you know, drawing of Daryl or something, because most of these characters are, you know, they're just people. There's they don't have like costumes or anything, obviously, or they're not aliens or anything. So when you're just showing their faces, sometimes there's not, you know, there's not that much to do with them really. So but so it'd be cool to do some, like, maybe some cool poses with a full body drawing of them. But so let's see, I don't know if I should, let me see, I guess I'll fill in his eyebrows. I always wonder, it just depends, usually it depends how heavy somebody's eyebrows are. If they're real light, I'll just keep them open like that and fill them. But fill the eyes. All right, so there's Daryl, for better or for worse. Hopefully that, oh, you know what, he's got some beard going on, but he needs a little stubble on his mustache, maybe some dirt, and you know. All right, so we'll go Daryl. So who should we go next? Let's do Michonne here, and I've pre-drawn most of these guys already. I really should actually draw some more stuff on these shows, and I've said that before, but it's basically just like the inking show. I just like to have some stuff prepared, because it's always, you know, it gets down to Friday and I've just got all this other stuff I haven't finished that I need to, so gotta get, but I want to put the videos out. So it's like one of those cooking shows where you have part of it prepped already. But yeah, this season of Walking Dead, I was pretty happy with, and all in all, I mean, you know, some are better than others, but, and a lot of times they'll get off track, but it seems like they find their footing again. The one thing that was just bothering me, I guess, a little bit, was it seemed like it was the same thing over and over, as far as they run into a new group of people, and those people turn out to be bad, and, you know, and then they've got to fight these other groups of people, and it just, you know, the same thing over and over again. And of course, you have to have conflict if you just go in and you're like, oh, we found some really cool people, and we all get along and everything. It doesn't make for that great of a story, but but you know, just tend like, oh, come on, not everyone could be so bad. So, you know, and you know, these aren't major spoilers, just minor stuff. But so they met up with this new group of people. Is it Alexandria is the name of the town? I think that might have been, I'm pretty sure that was in the comic. I can't remember if they introduced them from what I read or not. I remember some kind of community similar to that, but anyway, so you're like, okay, are these people, they seem nice on the outset and everything, but of course that's happened before, so I'm like, is this going to be the same thing over and over again? But they did a few different things. You know, at some points it almost seemed like the people we've been following, maybe it's flipped the script around a little bit, and maybe they're kind of not the nicest people. And I'm like, where are they? Where are they going to go with this? And so some of the people in the community weren't very good people, and some people were, and it's just not. It wasn't a bunch of like ulterior motives, like they're trying to bring him in here under false pretenses or anything like that. So I was kind of happy with that. I just, how often are we going to tell that same story where they just travel around and run into bad people? And I don't know. It was getting a little repetitive, so it was nice to see some things a little bit different, and in some ways catch a break for a little while. But because the thing is, it's like that's the whole thing of The Walking Dead, that you're on your own out here, and the zombies in some cases are the least of your troubles, and there's just bad people out here. But if there ever was some apocalypse or something like that, I tend to think that the survivors would band together, and sure, there's going to be certain lawless people out there. Well, there wouldn't probably be any laws, but you know what I mean, just scrupulous people, or people that are only out for their own good. Sure, I mean, that's the way it is in real life, but I mean, pre-apocalypse. And in saying that, hopefully I'm not saying that there will ever be one, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I think generally people are good, especially in the wake of tragedy. If you look like something like on 9/11, how people came together, I think that's more really what's going to happen if something like that happens. I don't, I think in the beginning there's probably going to, because you just can't. I don't think you can survive like that alone, without people, and without the help of people. And I think as humans, we naturally tend to want to form societies and be together and things like that. So I think that dark vision of what could happen if there's ever some breakdown in society or apocalypse or whatever, I just I think those people are going to be the minority, the people that are trying to either kill you or take what you have or whatever. I mean, there are people out there like that now, but I think it would be the same thing. There there's far more people that are good and and recognize that it helps to helps to be kind and helpful and that type of thing. So I don't know, but again, that doesn't always make for the best story, so I can see why they would do. Is it like super dark or something? Hold on, let me see if I can get some more light here. That's probably a little better. Of course, my hand's causing a shadow. Sorry about that. So I wonder if that book is still. I haven't been to Costco in forever. There's really not one near me, so there's like a Sam's Club, but I don't really have a membership to that. So, but plus I didn't see it there. But I would like to go get that book, or maybe I can go online. I wonder. It's been out for a while. Sometimes after a while they'll discount stuff like that, because it was, like I said, I remember looking at it. It was kind of pricey. And the first one I didn't like buy the first compendium. My nephew got it for a present or something. He read it, so I just borrowed it from him and then gave it back. So But I've got the smaller volumes. I've got maybe the first 4 or 5 of those. So I've got a good portion of the, the first few issues collected. And most of those were the original artists. I think his name's Tony Moore, which he hasn't been with the series in a while. That this guy that took over, is it Charlie Adler or something like that? I don't remember. But yeah, I like the original artist a little better. He wasn't as dark and as the new one. And I think I think the new guy is pretty much just synonymous with Walking Dead now because he's been doing it so long. So maybe you look at the other stuff, but I just really like the original artist's style. But it was quite a drastic change for me when they switched to the new artists because they're a bit different. One's really got a lot of dark, bold colors, and but anyway. But I think with that book, a lot of it is the story. Let's see, I sketched some of the stuff out, and I don't know exactly what's going on here. Let me see if I can find a reference photo here, which you guys can't see, but I can. Okay. Oh, I see. This was her strap that's holding this scabbard for her katana sword, which you're not really going to see much of it, so no one's going to even know. Let's see. So, trying to fill in her like dreadlocks, which it seems like I've been drawing a lot lately. I've got a comic book I'm working on for a client right now, and it's about this guy Kenny Dobbs, who's the worldwide slam dunk champ or something like that, and they're not dreadlocks, they're like braids, but they're like long braids, and I didn't actually draw all the different braids in them because it's simplified because it's more of a cartoon. But so they're kind of like this, but not as bunched up like these dreadlocks are. But I might even have. I don't know if I have that somewhere. I don't know where. I'm not going to worry about it right now. But yeah, it seems like I've been drawing a lot of those lately. Kind of fun to draw. And I don't know if I guess I should color some of those in black. I mean, I can always do it with marker too. I was wondering how dark her hair was, if it was more of a really dark brown or black, but looks pretty black. So, like she's got really thin eyebrows, so these might be a little thicker than in actuality, but it'll work for this, hopefully. I wonder how I should have looked at the comic and see how they do her hair in the comic. But I'm just going to put, assuming that the light's coming from above, I'll leave some of that open and we'll just fill that in with a darker, real dark brown or something, and then assuming that we eventually color these, which I plan to eventually. But yeah, she's a cool character. It's good because in the early episodes of The Walking Dead, the first few seasons, it just seemed like all of the female characters were just, they just weren't very well written, and they weren't interesting, or you just hated them, you know, and that was not good. Because I mean, it was like every time they would kill a female character off, it was like, oh good, thank God she's gone. She was horrible. But it was just, and then there was even characters like Carol, who's on the show now, who had sort of an interesting, in the beginning, she sort of an interesting story, but nothing great. But her story arc has just changed so much, and I don't know what the deal is with her in the comic. I don't know how similar it is to what's going on with her, if she's still around, if in the comics or what. But man, I really love what they did to her. Because at first, even, you know, the first few 2 or 3 seasons, I was kind of like, I didn't really care too much about her as a character. I mean, I didn't want her to die or anything like that, but because she kind of went through some hard times with some abuse and things like that. But I just didn't, she just wasn't very interesting. So it's like, eh. And then they really started to look at her and write her better, and now she's just this awesome character. I just, very cool. I mean, that's one of my favorite things in stories, is where people have interesting character arcs, usually where they start off one way and then, end up a different way. It's, I really tend to enjoy that. And Michonne's a good character too. It's the same thing when they first introduced her, she was just kind of this brooding. She didn't talk much, which I guess kind of in the comic, for she was like that, at least stuff that I read. But she was just kind of a badass. She had the katana sword and everything, but just really, she didn't talk. She didn't really have much of a personality. And I'm like, and it kind of worked in the comic for some reason, but in the show, is like, I didn't really care about her as a character either. But they, I think they probably noticed that, and then they started giving her a little more of a personality and more of a maternal instinct and things like that. And so, yeah, I really like where she is, and she's kind of, at the point where right now where she's kind of put her swords away and stuff, and which pretty sure is going to be the way things have panned out. I'm sure she's going to get back to those, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, so it is good that that the we actually care about some of the female characters now in the show. That wasn't always the case. Just kind of see how we are on time here. I want to do one more card, so depending on that, I still don't know if we should color one in. And it doesn't take a long time to color them, but I do like to keep, I don't want to go too crazy on the time. Plus, it always takes so long to load these. Like last Friday, had a bunch of stuff going on, and it took. I didn't even start illustrating them to halfway through the day, and by the time, these longer videos, it takes a long time to upload and all that, and then, for the people on the East Coast, it wasn't, it was getting close to not being Friday anymore, probably. Of course, that's a weird thing about this. I when I do these, I only think, I think of living here, in North America and everything, and there's people overseas and stuff where it's probably not even Friday, but then again, I guess it's Friday for me, and I'm the one doing it, so that's what it means, and most people don't. I don't think there's people like, oh, it's Friday, I gotta check out Scott's video, Fan Art Friday. So I mean, I think people just watch them whenever, so it's just a name, I guess. Got our katana in there. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting. I'm gonna sign my name here. Yeah, I'm getting low on my this Deleter Black manga ink, which works good with the Copic markers. They don't tend to smudge or anything. But I got to order some, and it's from Japan, so it takes a while to get here. So I went and bought some of the Speedball stuff. I haven't tried this with Copics. I imagine it smudges because it's. But I've never used this brand before, and it seems like it works okay. You know, some inks are better than others, but I really do like this Deleter, which I'm gonna have to actually. Usually I use like a little. I'll take the. This is my FW, and I've got a little eyedropper, and usually I take this up, but it's all clogged up, so I'm going to try to just dump a little in here in this little cap without spilling too much. Okay. There we go. That's probably more than I need for this card, and I'm trying and conserve it since it's running out, but I should order some more. It's a little pricey too, because it's more the shipping that's the cost. I mean, I'm sure the ink is just like any other ink here. I just don't know why. I can't figure out why Americans can't make an ink like this that work with the Copic marker, so I don't have to order it from Japan. But I don't know. So here, this one is Rick, of course. This is before he shaved in the episode. He's getting kind of a burly mustache or a beard and everything for a while. So I don't know what all you guys have plans for the weekend. Hopefully you've got some, fun stuff to do if you're unlike me and have the weekends off. I mean, I usually can take, depending if I've got like crazy deadlines or something, I can take a little time off pretty much whenever. So I'm fortunate, but I don't really have that like 9 to 5 thing, and usually I find myself working through the weekends, but this weekend I got a bunch of stuff going on. So tonight, let's see, my brother's coming over, and my sister-in-law, and my girlfriend, and my brother's kids, my niece and nephew, and everything. And we're gonna, I think, color Easter eggs and make a dinner and everything, and so that should be cool. And then tomorrow, on Saturday, I've got a wedding to go to. A friend from a game studio I used to work at is getting married. They've been, him and his fiance, soon-to-be wife, have been planning their wedding forever since way back when I worked at the game studio, and I worked there for 3 years, and they were engaged, I think. Well, maybe they got engaged somewhere in between then, and I haven't worked there for, oh geez, it's probably been almost 3 years since I've worked there. So they've been planning that for a while. So it'll be cool, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of old friends and stuff that used to work at that studio that I'll get to see and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's kind of on the east side of town. I live in Arizona, and I live on the west side. And so we're just gonna, I think my girlfriend and I are just gonna get a kind of a hotel out there. It's actually a resort, so we found a pretty decent room rate and everything. So that's better, because if you're out there and you have a few drinks, you don't want to have to drive all the way across, because it's probably a good hour drive at the least. So So yeah, looking forward to that. That should be fun. And then of course Sunday, I've got Easter plans with my family. So I don't know. It'd be nice to kind of do all that stuff. I just have to figure out, you know, if I'm gonna have time to work on some other stuff. But so far, I'm not like totally stressed out. I thought I would after last week. If you watched last week's Fan Art Friday, you know I was like, you know, had some like major setbacks. But so far, I think all that's under control, and I haven't really had my game client too. You know, they've been trying to regroup and do some different stuff. So it's not like it doesn't seem like they're waiting on anything pressing from me. So I'm just working at the normal pace, and trying to get this freelance comic done. Just hoping to have my son help me out, but so far he's kind of being lazy about it, so I might have to do a lot of it myself. But I might have a little time to work on some stuff before the wedding. But my main thing is I've got a convention coming up, and I really want to get some new stuff done. I got some new ideas. I was gonna, I'll wait. I was gonna like give you guys a scoop on something, but most people watching this probably don't even care because they're probably just interested in the fan art stuff, which I do a lot of stuff other than fan art. Actually, the whole idea of me doing the fan art videos is because I do a lot of client work, which is for other people, but then I've got a lot of my own like products and a lot of stuff like that I looking to do more of, my own original IP type stuff. But so the idea of the Fan Art Friday was this is just one day, one little show where I can take and I can do get my fan art fix, because it's fun to do. I enjoy it, and it's not although I'm not really interested in marketing my fan art, I do like drawing it. So that's what this is all about. And a lot of curly hair going like everywhere on Rick here. I don't know. I worry a lot about my likenesses. Hold on. I got a little text that popped up. I forgot I was supposed to boil some eggs, but I guess I can do that. I guess I have plenty of time to do that. Little fuzzy jacket. It's got like a wool lining or something in it, which I don't know. We got to draw his gun, which sometimes I'll use a straight edge, but for these sketch cards, I'm just gonna do it kind of quick and dirty. I always worry about drawing guns if I get it right, because there's some people that are really into guns. It's like, oh, it doesn't look like that, but I'm just trying to get the point across, because I honestly don't know a whole lot about guns, but I know this is a service revolver, and if I can just make it look recognizable, then that's good enough for me. But his finger in there on the trigger. Color in his eye. Yeah, so Rick, it seems he's got some his eyebrows seem pretty light, like almost like a blonde, at least in the picture I'm looking at. So I might just leave his might just leave those white like that. Let me just go over some of this, pop it out a little more. So yeah, I did these with my red pencil, the Cola Race, which I got a little cool holder for it because they get pretty small because I use them quite a bit. But a lot of times I'll use my blue drafting pencil, but I'm starting to like the red one too. I mean, the red will probably show up when I scan it and everything. There's probably a way to Photoshop it out, and you'll probably see it when I color unless I erase it, which it is erasable. I mean, it says color erase. Maybe I'll run eraser over it before I color it. But I don't know, sometimes that's kind of the charm in these little sketch cards. I like seeing the line work and stuff underneath. Could be just me. Of course, sometimes it's nice to just see something that's just super slick and precise and just like, wow, how did they do that? Takes away the illusion a little bit. Let's see, does the gun have any black on it? Let me, hold on. I was about to look at my reference and then it disappeared on me. Not really. There's okay. Alright, I'll sign my name on this guy, and then where we're at, maybe like 45 minutes or so. Might be time to color one. But which one? Which one should I color? If this is a live thing, you guys could tell me, but it's not, so I'll just pick one. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you can't see that. Alright, I'm going to turn it off and I'll come back with my markers and we'll color one of these out. Okay, so I decided I'm going to color Michonne. She seems like she'll have the most color. She's, most of these characters that I picked, they're all pretty much, it's all going to be browns. They've all got brown hair and they wear brown clothes and everything, but she's kind of got a colorful headband and everything, and the sword, some silver in the sword, so I'm gonna pick her. Let's see. Because she's got a way darker skin tone, it'll give me a more chance to play. And luckily, I've got, sometimes it's hard to find markers that mix, but all four of these skin tones work really good. So, I mean, they match up pretty well. So that's good. Let's see. We'll start with the lightest brown that I have. Which is probably, this is probably what I use for darker color if you're like Caucasian or have lighter skin. Let's see, where's her arm? And of course, she's got a brown vest too. So, like I said, most of these characters, it's all pretty brown. her here. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if she's, I don't know what's up with her in the comics. I don't know if she's still alive in the comics, but I remember I was actually working at the game studio because I had a friend there that worked there and was telling me how awesome this character was. He's like, oh, wait till you meet Michonne and everything, and hopefully they'll bring her into the comic. And so it was kind of cool. If you do watch the show at all, if you had been watching it back when they introduced her, it was kind of at the end of one season, and you didn't really see much. She was just wearing her. I don't even think they cast the actual actress yet. They just had like a stand-in and a cloak and everything, and it was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. So, but yeah, I haven't seen this actress in anything else, so I don't know what else she's done. But yeah, I like her in the show a lot. I'm just glad they kind of gave her character a little more personality. Because at first it was like, you know, give this girl something to do besides just butcher zombies. Make her a little more interesting. So let's see, I'm trying to figure out what's a good color for her lips. Her upper lip's kind of the same brown. There's a little more red in the lower lip. Oh, that looks pretty good. Might add a little highlight on there when I get my white out. Not white out, but my white color out. The darkest brown, again, kind of under the eyes here. A little bit over here, under the nose, under the lips, under the chin. A little bit there. Alright, I'm going to use this dark brown for her hair. Yeah, just if I try to do this with some other ink, you'd be smudging all over the place. So I'll just carry that off to the side. Sometimes I try to center everything on the card, but I don't think there's any real reason to. Okay, this is going to be this strap that holds up her sword scabbard thingy. And then, let's see, her vest is brown, but it's got a little red in it. I don't know if I have a color like that. This one just says flesh, but it's kind of red. No, that's way pink. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't really know if I have. This is probably way too dark. I don't know, maybe I'll just do that. Just add some contrast. Put a little red there, and then maybe I'll blend it in with some brown. Yeah, that should work. Okay. And now we get to add a little color in her headband. these are the type of colors that will probably last me forever. Because like this thing, this is so bright. I'm never going to use that. I'm not even going to use that here because that's like, it's like day glow. I mean, this is like useless. I wish I could have picked what colors came in this thing. I can't imagine ever using that. This same thing here. Garbage colors. That's a little better, yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's got a lot of colors, but I'm not going to do everything exactly like that. And she's got some blues. My reference keep disappearing on my computer here. All right. Maybe a little in there. Okay, so as you can see, I kind of finished it up here. I thought I was filming, but it wasn't working. What happens if my camera starts to run out of room? Sometimes if I press it, it'll look like it's filming, the timer's going, but it's not actually filming anything. So I deleted the short video, which should give me a little time to wrap this up before I upload it. But yeah, again, I ran out of time. So anyway, so there's Michonne, and then I'll have to color Daryl and Rick here later. But yeah, so that does it for another Fan Art Friday. Thanks for checking it out. If you just happen to tune into this because you like Walking Dead or whatever, I do other fan art stuff, and I do, you know, I do comics and all that kind of stuff. Got some cool stuff at my store, and yeah, if you're interested, you can follow me on the YouTube channel or like or comment and do all that cool stuff. But yeah, as usual, got a lot of other stuff to get to, so I am going to say goodbye. Have a great weekend, and that is all.